Get ready for the patch. We might just be seeing this thing. It's been long rumoured, and as long as it goes through console certification in the next few days, we'll be getting our hands on some of the biggest changes that we've seen to date for Battlefield 4, and what could be the end to a huge amount of problems that have plagued this game. Now, along with it, there will be stability patches, there will be gameplay improvements, HUD improvements, and a whole host of weapon changes as well. In this video, I'm going to try and detail as many of the important ones that I can, just so that you guys know what changes you're going to be seeing, perhaps in the next week or so. So, first of all, we best start with probably the most important fixes that are going to be available in this patch, and that's the netcode. Now, there are a few points that I want to really just discuss and probably state. We've been told this multiple times with the patches that come out in Battlefield 4, but I really am hopeful, considering it's a different team that have been working on this one. So here we go. First of all, high frequency update is now being enabled automatically for everybody who decides to update to this patch. And you're going to need to if you want to carry on playing the game. It will mean that everybody will be on a level playing field in terms of that setting, and it basically forces the game to work at a faster refresh rate than it did before. So every time you shoot somebody, there's more information going to the server, and there's more being bounced back from all the other bits of information that are going backwards and forwards. Ultimately, it should make the game look smoother and much more responsive. They're also going to be lowering the amount of time that's allowed between bullets hitting and you moving away from where the bullets are coming from. And essentially that means like kill trading and being shot round corners and things like that. So the amount of times that you've been shot whilst you've run around a corner, the amount of time that is allowed for the bullet to actually hit the player is being reduced. So if the bullets are actually being shot at somebody who is round the corner, the likelihood is that 9 times out of 10 now, you're not going to be shot round as corners as much as you were before. Of course, this is all just theory and we'll have to wait and see, but at least there's a fix going in there for that to try and make it better. And finally, for the netcode, improvements have been made to make sure the time that it takes for a bullet's damage to register on your screen, i.e. when you get shot in the chest and the outside of the screen starts to go all blurred and red, that time has been reduced and improvements have been made to try and make sure that those notifications come up when they're supposed to and not all at once and make it look like a one-hit kill. Which again, is a good thing, but will only work once we see it in practice. Okay, now that we're done with netcode, we're going to move on to some sort of like gameplay improvements. So first of all is the revive mechanic, and I like what they've done here. They've introduced the triage system, which shows how long left you've got to revive somebody before the revive icon actually goes away, which means you can prioritize the amount of revives you have. Remember that you can only click it 3 times in succession in Battlefield 4 and get somebody back up off the ground. So you can prioritize somebody who's got longer left, or if you're not going to be able to reach somebody, then you can grab someone else off the floor instead. That's really cool. And also, they've introduced a sound that will sort of play once your defibs have been fully charged. That means that you can then zap somebody to 100% health straight away, rather than just zapping them to 20% health and sticking a medkit down, which I think is a really nice touch. Next is sight improvements, and this has a lot to do with the visual recoil that's currently in Battlefield 4. I'll quickly explain this. Visual recoil is different to the recoil of the weapon that you're using. So the recoil that you see when you shoot somebody is different to where the bullets are going. That's why sometimes when you're shooting dead on somebody's face, the recoil of the weapon is different to what you perceive to be on the screen, which is why you don't get the kill or the hit markers you think you deserve sometimes. DICE LA are getting rid of that, and they've implemented a fix for all of the sights, as I said, close and medium range, that allows the reticule in the middle of the sight to slightly move with the recoil or counteract the visual recoil that you're seeing with the weapon. And trust me, it's actually a really good fix, and you realise just how low the recoil values of Battlefield 4 are in comparison to Battlefield 3. Speaking of Battlefield 3, actually, the player movement now in this patch is going to mimic Battlefield 3. So what we have right now in BF4 is a very lethargic soldier who runs around very slowly, takes a long time to get to top speed. Whereas in Battlefield 3, as soon as you push the sprint button, you're already halfway across the map and you would have left your BF4 soldier behind. Well, that's how it looked anyway. Apparently we were told that the soldiers do run at the same speed, but it just never really looked like it. So we are going to see Battlefield 3 movement moved into Battlefield 4, which I think is a great step forward. And something else with player movement actually, you'll have noticed that there have been countless videos in the past where YouTubers have shown the reaction of a soldier that you're shooting at. Have you seen it where the player ducks their head down when they get shot in the head or the upper torso? That's been massively reduced, and that can be really quite off-putting. Say for example you get a headshot on somebody. The soldier will then duck to the left or right, and your follow-up shots may not hit the hitbox that's on the head because it moves with the player. That's not very good, considering your aim is true, it should end up where it is. In real life, if you shot somebody in the head, that's it, they're dead. So you should at least be allowed to get the headshot kill if you've aimed correctly. Currently in Battlefield 4 that doesn't really happen, or, well, they've reduced it a little bit, but they haven't reduced it enough in my opinion. And in this patch, it's ultimately going to remove it completely. There's still going to be a little bit of movement there, left and right, and I think that's good, as long as the hitbox doesn't completely move from side to side. It just makes for a really jarring experience, and it's good to see that DICE LA have picked up on that and are trying to remove it as much as they can. Very quickly, the UI icons are being changed a huge amount as well. That's really good. I did a video in the past about the scalability of the opacity that's now available with the UI in Battlefield 4 CTE. That's being moved across into the vanilla game as well, which is good to see. And finally, just want to talk about some of the weapon changes, and most of these will come with maybe some surprise, maybe some good changes, maybe some changes that we weren't really expecting, but ultimately these are going to be in the patch. First of all, damage reduction. That's right, you heard it, damage reduction. Most of the weapons that are in CTE right now have received a downgrade in the damage that they output by about 1 damage point per bullet. Now you might not think that that makes a huge amount of difference, but assault rifles that do 25 damage now only do 24 damage, and 24 times 4 is 96, which means you're going to need a 5th bullet to kill somebody in the same situation that previously you would only have needed 4 bullets. And this ultimately is to increase the time to kill that's available in Battlefield 4. It's been noted that over the life cycle of the game that it's extremely easy to kill somebody very quickly. There are a lot of high rate of fire weapons, and the fact of reducing the bullet damage is there to try and make it so that you can stay alive that little bit longer and maybe have a little bit more of a fighting chance if your back is turned. Next, trigger delay has been removed from all revolvers. Now that's the Magnum, the Rex and all the other revolvers that are in Battlefield 4 that I didn't even know had a delay. Apparently some of them did. But all of the revolvers have had that trigger delay removed, which is a great thing to see. And I think the one that we've all been waiting for is the reduction in grenades. This is a massive step forward for Battlefield 4 and will hopefully reduce the amount of explosive spam in this game, because trust me, Alan Kurtz just ruined this game with the XM25. But it seems that DICE LA have got their heads screwed on. They're going to be reducing the capacity that you're able to hold on your soldier, and they're increasing the resupply time that it takes to get a grenade back into the slot, which hopefully will reduce the amount of explosives that you see on Operation Metro. And that's about it. Those are the most important things that you're going to be seeing in the next week or so once this patch actually comes out. It's rumoured to come out on Tuesday the 23rd of September, which is the day I've uploaded this video. So either the patch is about to come out or will come out within the next few days, or it's come out today and this video is here to show you exactly what you're seeing in game. Either way, I think it was just good to let you guys know the experience that's going to be changing in Battlefield 4. I think it's important because there are a lot of gameplay factors in there that are changing and are ultimately going to make the game feel very different to how it feels right now. And I think it's only right that you guys know exactly what you're going to be playing in about a week's time or so. But I tell you what, leave a comment down below today. I really like to know what you think of some of these changes. I'll leave a link in the description to the blog with all the information that's currently on it about this patch that's coming out, just so that you guys can read through some of the other things that I didn't mention, because there are still a few things in there that you guys might find interesting. But that is the end of the video today, guys, so thank you very much for watching. Leave a rating down below. But until next time, my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.